Hi, my name is Glenn Jones. My book is about human resources changing the world, and it's about a critical examination of where HR is today, why HR directors don't become CEOs, and the steps and actions that need to happen to change the future focus of HR. I wrote an article, funny enough, a few weeks ago on LinkedIn where I was actually sort of asking the question, has HR gone too far to the right? I.e., have we put far too much onto line managers? Why I asked this question is because someone said to me a few months ago around, well, actually, what is HR doing? What are you doing to allow my people to go out and sell what they need to sell, for instance, instead of tying me up with the bureaucracy and stuff like that? So therefore, I think there's a real line in the sand that's got to be evaluated now. There's a lot of thinking around design thinking, the customer experience on employees when new processes and procedures. But I think now more than ever, HR has got to be fundamentally looking at itself and saying, actually, the processes and procedures that we have in place, the technology that we have in place, who is it serving? Is it serving HR? Is it serving the business? And is it adding value? Question mark. It's interesting because one of the factors that I've seen which so far has come through for those HR directors that have become CEOs is their CEOs that were there before took the time, energy and effort to really sort of aspire them to come through and mentor them to come through and give them the space and the credibility to come through. So first and foremost, I think it's very much around the CEOs that are there having the aptitude to really challenge the traditional blueprint as to who becomes CEOs, number one. Number two, it's then sort of reaching into those HR directors who have become CEO and allowing them to really sort of talk openly about their journey and to push away the glass ceiling that exists today so that actually it inspires those HR directors to go on to greater things. So mindset is a critical factor in the change and evolution of HR. It has to believe that it's there for a reason. It's been so put down by the non-value added tag that it's almost self-belief now. It's almost a doctrine that they're afraid to go into the boardroom and utilize the good data that they have. Never before in the history of HR have they had so much data with these new technologies that are coming through. But unfortunately, not everybody, and I am generalizing, not everybody is able to actually translate that data into viable, influential, strategic, commercial changes that enables them to actually sort of push the function forward. And I think until they have that ability to use everything they've got, the insight into people, and to translate that into meaningful things, they will suffer. But actually, the reality is that a mindset shift isn't a difficult thing to do. They've just got to have those role models who can change that and enable them to think, actually, they do add value. And that's really important. So HR innovation for me is looking at what are they doing today. It's actually taking time to stop. It's actually looking at the business and going, how is HR supporting the business and driving through that talent agenda, that right time, right people, right place agenda? You know, when we look at how HR can influence in the boardroom, it's about sort of making sure that the talent is there and it's developed accordingly. So for me, it comes down, Matt, to the simple thing of stopping what they're doing today and looking at everything that they've built and potentially ripping it up and going, okay, so how do we start again? How do we start with a set of policies, for instance, that actually, instead of tangling people up in bureaucracy, release them to go on and actually are empowered to actually sort of live and breathe the company? And it's looking at the technology too, with a customer-focused mindset on, instead of actually needing to have all of these checks and balances and 20 sign-offs before I get somebody in through the door, to actually go looking at it and go, common sense is we need two, if one. And let's design it that way so we have the customer at the end of it. We still get what we need from a HR perspective, and that's compliance, but it actually removes all of the bureaucracy out of the way. That's it for me.